Tame and Brittany Higgins both used their speeches at the National Press Club to keep the focus on the need for society and government to take real and meaningful action to keep abuse victims safe and to support those who choose to come forward. Key points. Tame says she was asked to not say anything damning about the PM ahead of an election. Tame says she was asked to not say anything damning about the PM ahead of an election. Brittany Higgins says some of the PM's language has been shocking and at times, admittedly, a bit offensive. Brittany Higgins says some of the PM's language has been shocking and at times, admittedly, a bit offensive. Yesterday, political leaders formally apologized for misconduct in Parliament. Ms. Tame also used her address to claim a senior member of an organisation funded by the government asked her not to say anything controversial about Scott Morrison in a threatening phone call while she was Australian of the Year. The 2021 Australian of the Year made the comments in an address alongside her friend and former Liberal staffer Brittany Higgins at the National Press Club in Canberra today. Saying she had nothing to lose, Ms. Tame said she received the threatening phone call in August last year. She said the caller was asking for my word that I would not say anything damning about the Prime Minister on the evening of the next Australian of the Year awards. You are an influential person. He will have a fear, they said. What kind of fear? I asked myself. And then I heard the words with an election coming soon. And it crystallized, a fear for himself and no one else. A fear that he might lose his position or, more to the point, his power. Ms. Tame said she had made a conscious decision to stand up to evil, and she would continue to do so. To retreat into silence now would be hypocritical, she said. You either fight it, or you are a part of it. A spokesperson for the Prime Minister said the first Scott Morrison and his office became aware of the allegation was during Ms. Tame's speech. The Prime Minister has not and would not authorise such actions and at all times has sought to treat Ms. Tame with dignity and respect, they said. The Prime Minister and the government consider the actions and statements of the individual as unacceptable. The spokesperson also said the individual should apologise. Brittany Higgins and Tame called on the federal government to take real action to protect women. ABC News, Matt Roberts. Ms. Tame was later asked what she had said in response, saying it doesn't matter now, and refused to say which organisation it was. She went on to say in her speech she decided to speak about the event, and put her reputation on the line because, when we act with integrity, the tide rises with us. In any event, I would rather go down a disappointment to an institution than sell out as a pandering political puppet to the corrupt forces that coercively control it, Ms. Tame said. The former Australian of the Year caused a stir when she delivered a masterclass in side-eye, in an ice-cold exchange with Scott Morrison on her last day in the role last month. She joked about it today in reply to a question about which party would be better for women at the upcoming election, replying, "Permission to use a side-eye." Ms. Tame also outlined her 3 key asks from the government to prevent and support sexual abuse of children. The first is for a government that takes the issue of abuse in all its forms seriously, she said. The second is for the implementation of adequate funding for prevention education to stop these things before they even start. The third is for national, consistent, structural change. I didn't want his sympathy. Earlier, Ms. Higgins told the audience she wanted Mr. Morrison to use his power as Prime Minister to bring about real action to improve women's safety. She said she found some of Mr. Morrison's language over the course of last year shocking and at times, admittedly, a bit offensive. But she said that would not have mattered as much if his actions had demonstrated a commitment to change. His words wouldn't matter if his actions had measured up, Ms. Higgins said. What bothered me most about the whole imagine if it were our daughter's spiel wasn't that he necessarily needed his wife's advice to help contextualize my rape in a way that mattered to him personally. I didn't want his sympathy as a father. I wanted him to use his power as Prime Minister. The two friends are speaking the day after Mr. Morrison and opposition leader, Anthony Albanese, apologized on behalf of the entire parliament for misconduct experienced by many current and former staff. Space to play or pause, M to mute, left and right arrows to seek, up and down arrows for volume. Watch duration, 1 minute 35 seconds. 1 minute and 35 seconds. Brittany Higgins says she did not want the Prime Minister's sympathy after going public with her rape allegations. The statements were the first recommendation of the Jenkins Review into the workplace culture within parliamentary offices. An inquiry sparked after Ms. Higgins made her rape allegations nearly a year ago. It was encouraging and an important sentiment, but I am cognizant that, at this point in time, they are still only words. Actions matter, she said. What will be the true test is whether the government is committed to creating systemic change. Task forces are great, codes of conduct are important, but only if it's paired with institutional change. She said unless all of the recommendations of the Jenkins Review were implemented, we will continue to see this toxic culture exist within our most powerful institution.